Hercules, or Heracles as the Greeks called him, has a story that's pretty epic. It's full of brave battles, some really sad moments, and a bunch of sneaky gods stirring up trouble. At the center of all this is a really heartbreaking story about his wife, Megara. She had a rough time and ended up dying way too soon, which just added to Hercules' already crazy life. To really get what Hercules went through, and the awful thing that happened to Megara, you've got to understand that their lives were like a maze full of bad luck, craziness, and gods messing with them. Hercules had quite the family tree. His dad was none other than Zeus, the big boss of all the gods, and his mom was Alcmene, a mortal woman. This mix gave Hercules some serious muscle and courage that most people could only dream about. He was meant to do great things and be remembered forever. But it wasn't going to be easy. Hera, Zeus's wife and the queen of the sky, couldn't stand him. Why? Well, Hercules was a living reminder of her husband's affair. So, she made it her mission to make his life as tough as possible. Right from the start, Hercules had it tough. It was like his life was one big fight, with all these powerful gods and regular people going at it, trying to one-up each other. And Hera, she just couldn't let it go. She had it out for Hercules big time and kept throwing challenge after challenge his way, trying to stop him from becoming the legend he was meant to be. And man, each challenge was tougher than the one before. Hercules really went through the wringer, you know? It was like he was wrapped up in this heavy blanket of craziness that just hit him hard. Some say it was Hera, out of spite, messing with his head, or maybe it was just a really bad twist of luck. Either way, he lost it. He was caught up in this wild storm of anger and sadness, totally trapped in his own head with no way out. Hercules' breakdown was a real turning point in his story. It was like he hit rock bottom, losing his mind and going through some seriously dark times. Some say it was because Hera had it out for him, or maybe it was Lyssa messing with his head. Whatever the reason, he just lost it and hurt the people he loved the most, causing a whole lot of heartache and destruction. It's one of those things he'd never be able to shake off or forget. It's really heartbreaking, but Hercules' wife, Megara, was the one who ended up suffering the most when he lost control. He was so angry that he didn't even realize what he was doing, and in that terrible moment, he took Megara's life. It was such a sad and shocking event that it shook everyone, both gods and people. Megara's sad story really hits home, doesn't it? It just goes to show how life can be so unpredictable and delicate. It's like one minute you're just living your life, and the next, you're caught up in some crazy drama that the gods have cooked up. Poor Megara was just a pawn in Hera's game, or just in the wrong place when the gods were settling their scores. Her story is a stark reminder that sometimes, no matter what you do, you can get swept up in things way bigger than yourself. Hercules was really struggling with the bad stuff he'd done, feeling super guilty after he lost his cool. He decided he needed to make things right, so he set out on this tough journey to show he could be better. King Eurystheus gave him a bunch of really hard tasks to do, and Hercules was determined to get through them all to show he was sorry and to make up for his mistakes. Hercules didn't just want to make up for his mistakes by going on tough adventures. He also tried to do good things for others, helping people whenever he could. It was his way of dealing with the guilt and trying to make things right for the bad stuff he'd done. By doing these kind deeds, he hoped to create a new name for himself, one that people would remember for the right reasons, not the wrong ones. The story of Hercules going mad and what happened to Megara really shows us how strong and lasting myths can be. It's like an old story that teaches us about how the gods can be vengeful, how we humans can mess up, but also how we can overcome tough times. Hercules wasn't perfect. He had his own struggles and mistakes. But even with all that, he tried to beat the odds and make his own path in a world full of myths and stories.